Now, Sergio Martinez, the CIO of the Co10 and managing partner, together with Christopher Brenner, will talk about the integration of SAP, Boomi, the SAP for Boomi. Sorry, Boomi for SAP, I meant. Sorry.
Okay. Do I need to? Yeah, I guess so. No. No.
Okay. No, not
this one. Ah, okay. This one is not working.
Yeah, it's working. It should be. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Down.
For wrong direction. Okay. Yeah, hello from my side as well. My name is Christopher Brenner. I'm a solution consultant with Boomi, based here in Barcelona, originally from Germany. I have the honor to introduce you all to a little bit of Boomi. But a question up front, who has heard of Boomi before, actually? Okay. Yeah, my manager now is also here, so amazing. Would be surprised if you didn't hear from it. But yeah, before we go now back to the whole SAP topic, what I would like to do is give a bit of an overview to Boomi itself, right? What we see in the market, or what we do in the market, is actually we are now, what our CEO always says, the one platform for AI-driven automation. What does that actually mean? Well, basically, we are based on 4 pillars, right? The focus, of course, today will be SAP and our special module, Boomi for SAP, but I thought it could be helpful to give you a bit of an introduction of what we actually do. So integration automation is obviously like the foundation where we're coming from, right? So we are something you call an iPaaS, integration platform as a service. And integration automation is, basically what you need to do nowadays with everything. I think I don't have to explain integration. The second pillar is data management, right? So here we bit of differentiate between operational and analytical data management. We will get into a bit more into data integration later. I think also Sergio will show us a bit of a demo after my quick introduction to Boomi and everything. So we're going to go there a bit more in depth, right? API management on the other side is also something that is about the whole life cycle, about APIs and everything, especially in the modern world of agentic era that we are driving into now. You need to get your APIs ready for that as well. And then since May, our 4th pillar is there as well, which is AI agent management. And that's really about bringing all together now the foundation of integration, data management, API management, to build a really solid AI-driven automation foundation, right? Good. Saying that, the focus is Boomi for SAP today. And what I want you to know about Boomi for SAP is it's a product that is certified by SAP, right? And that is actually going to be installed on an SAP core, right? What can you actually do with it? Well, basically, as you can see here, it's about connecting SAP in the first place with other business-critical applications, not only in the SAP universe. I know we all love SAP, right? But there are also other applications that we have to use as well. Right, so it's really about like getting the best out of your investments in SAP as well. One of the biggest things Boomi for SAP is, Sergio wanted me to point it out, you can reduce integration time and effort by 40% or more, right? With this tool, right? And one of the use cases we always see out there is accelerate your cloud transformation, right? So what we're seeing is, especially in the migration phases when we go from ECC to S4HANA now, but also with BW, it can be an accelerator for that and freeing up time, especially of SAP developers, right? They can then focus on a bit more important tasks than only like getting out the data, basically, right? And of course, as we talk about AI is everywhere. Of course, also you fuel AI with harmonized, trusted enterprise data. I think this is also kind of the example you will show at the end, right?
Well, not AI specifically, but
but not. Yeah.
Can you hear me well? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Good. How does it actually look like? Basically, what you can see here now on the right side, that is the Boomi for SAP core, which is basically installed on the application layer, right? In this example, we also see on the left the Boomi for SAP connector. Sergio will show that as well. And you can see here, like, kind of the services and what you can actually do with it, right? The authorization and security objects obviously are from SAP. So there's nothing separately to organize from that perspective. Okay, so it's about extracting table views. You can get BW data, function modules that are already there. You use your iDocs. You can use eventings with business objects and change pointers. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. But why do we actually want to do it? Well, basically, the idea is, as you can see here, without Boomi for SAP, the process of extracting data might be a bit longer than with it, actually, because the traditional aspect of it is more like, okay, I submit a request, right? I define the need, then we identify the right tables and everything, we find the documentation, coordinate with the analyst, and so on, and so on, and so on. And it can take a bit of a while, right? And now with Boomi for SAP, the approach here is we have a no-code approach. So for the things you do in Boomi for SAP, you don't need to code ABAP. And that's kind of really helpful here. And it's really there to accelerate the access to the data that you have in there without actually the SAP proprietary layers. Wrong direction again. Well, here you can see now a bit of a screenshot of it, right? So again, this is really about reducing the reliance on SAP developers for the integrations, for the data extractions and everything. You also want to prevent integration development bottlenecks, right? And really want to enable everything around it to get better access, easier access, faster, and free up your resources to it. Okay, and that brings me now to this slide. I said in the beginning a bit about the data integration. So if we want to move now the SAP data to any cloud data warehouse or whatsoever, the data lake, that's where it comes now interesting in with the data integration part. On the left side, we saw that already. I mentioned that before. But the real thing here now is, okay, we want to transfer this now into a data lake, something like that. Okay, and that's where data integration comes into place. This is a tool, was an acquisition of Boomi, I think in December or something like that, and was formerly known as Rivery. I don't know if everyone heard of it at all. Yeah, you heard, perfect. But basically what it does is similar to what Boomi does with a no-code, low-code approach. You can go in here and have the same kind of style for data integration, right? When we create data pipelines from your business-critical applications, from, I don't know, even LinkedIn ads, Google ads, whatsoever, but also other tools like Salesforce, your CRM tools, and so on. And you bundle that, create your data pipelines, put that into a data warehouse, data lake, like Snowflake, Databricks, whatsoever. And also transform that there as well, right? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the key purpose on that. And now with combining that together with Boomi for SAP, the idea is now to accelerate exactly that with SAP, right? So you can extract the data with Boomi for SAP, and then with the data integration, you have like these data pipelines on it. I think that's what we're going to show, right? Yeah. Exactly. So that's just a brief introduction to Boomi. If there are any questions, let me know. Yeah.
I have a question before slide.
This one?
One more step back. One step back, please.
This one?
Little more. Yes. Here we notice Boomi for SAP. Is it add-on or plug-in which is going to be installed in SAP?
This is an add-on
Yeah.
that is installed in the ABAP layer, application layer.
Okay, how it connects to Boomi? Because Boomi, like iPaaS application.
Yeah, because so we have a special connector for it. I mean, if I go back to this slide here, so we have the REST JSON connectivity now, between so basically what Boomi for SAP does, it takes like the table view whatsoever what you want and has like a REST API for it that then our connector can connect to. So also like the performance of it is like you can have a big amount of data extracted at that time.
Okay. For my, I'm sorry, I don't know Boomi, but I'm just comparing with the CPA and MuleSoft. So in SAP CPA, we have adapters. In PIPO, we have adapters where we can configure those like RFCs or BAPI, whatever things are there, or third-party application endpoint URL. Whereas MuleSoft, we have a SAP connector where we can configure either OData service or this kind of thing. Similar kind of connectors in Boomi?
Well, with Boomi, you have several options to extract data from SAP. We have, of course, also what is known as a JCO connector with the classic Boomi connection, right? But this is like an extra module on top, where we say like, okay, if you have like the big amount of data, the performance is an issue whatsoever. We all know JCO is limited in that sense to a specific point. That's where Boomi for SAP comes in.
Okay, because the pain point which I notice, couple of applications, iPaaS applications, majorly data. When it comes to like master load or delta load kind of mechanism, which we notice like huge number of volume of data passing from SAP to third-party applications like Salesforce or some third-party applications. So the pain point is like huge number of data, especially streaming mechanism, which is facing huge, sometimes performance issues also we're noticing. How we can achieve by SAP for Boomi? Is there any kind of like, because on top of add-on, again, it's a kind of plug-in. Again, we are going to connect to the SAP Boomi as a connector, which means that it has to be passed through from SAP, Boomi for SAP, followed by Boomi connector. There is some kind of performance which I note, which I'm suspecting, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so really what Boomi for SAP is a standalone add-on. You can use it without having the need to have Boomi or Integration Suite. You can use it alone and connect it to other data tools directly, okay? But it's not dependent on the Boomi connector.
Oh.
Of course, with the Boomi connector, it's easier to get all this data out of SAP and move it to Salesforce or wherever. But it's something to help you extract the data from your system. Then what you do with this data, that depends on you, on the system that you have.
Okay, it means it acts as a native for an SAP. Okay, clear. Thank you so much.
You said that because I'm not allowed to say it. I think he has a question as well.
No, I can add to it.
Okay.
Just to add to it, and you will see it probably in the demo, I'm imagining. So this connector is not just like connecting to the things that are there, which of course you have little influence of how much data is streaming out of the system. This is more than just a connector. You can filter, you can tailor the amount of data, you can batch it, you can create loads that you want to extract on certain events only. So you have a lot of more influence on when you actually take out data and what kind of data and how much data than any other connector out there. So you will see this is not just like an extractor or that is calling an RFC function or whatever. No, this is more than this. And I think that's the hand over to it.
It's going to be part of the demo.
How you can manipulate.
Of course.
Okay, so thank you, Chris. I will now show some real cases on how this works. I think we don't have a lot of time, so I have prepared some cases, but I will probably just stick to the main ones. Okay. So can you see the screen? Yes, perfect. So this is the main screen of Boomi for SAP. As I said before, this is installed directly into the ECC or S/4HANA system. It's an add-on, a classical add-on, okay, with its own transactions, authorization codes, etc., roles. So everything is, you can see it here, okay? But they have a lot of more transactions and things below, like for example, for all the authorization and roles to be able to access to each of the services, etc. It's also installed behind, and everything is controlled there with SAP authorizations, okay? So what do we have here? So as you can see, this is a web access. I'm accessing directly to our SAP system, Code 10 system. And we can see different types of services that we have here. So starting for the first one, this one, the BW data extractor. So this one can connect directly to BW extractor and extract the data from there. It will publish it as a JSON, as a REST API, and you can consume this API doing the filters you need. So for the iDocs, this one is like more straightforward. It will just explore all the iDocs that you have in your system, and using the, calling the API publish behind, you can create the iDoc in the SAP system. You can get the XML schema, and then using this schema, you can create the iDoc directly. Okay, for ABAP proxies, it's a little bit similar to what with iDocs. You have your ABAP proxies that you created, for example, in PIPO, or you created yourself, so you can reuse them to call them directly using your middleware or from the Boomi native connector. Then we have very interesting thing here, that is the event. That's my second favorite part of Boomi for SAP. Okay, so the event, you can publish your own events based on standard events in SAP that are chain pointers and business objects. Okay, so you can create one event that will point to a standard chain pointer, one already existing in the system. You don't create chain pointers for here. You use the one that already exists in SAP. So you will publish them here in Boomi for SAP, and it will read from those chain pointer or those business objects. Okay, so for example, here we have a business object created for BUS 2032. For the people that don't know, this is a sales order. Okay, so for example, anytime a sales order will be changed, for example, we have a easy configuration here. So whenever it's changed, what we will do? Okay, here's the deployment mode. Local means we're going to do it in this system. Production means we're going to transport this to production. So it will ask for a TR. Okay, we can show here, but okay, you can select your TR, and everything will be moved as standard SAP. Then we will choose a receiver. I don't know why it's not loading, but a receiver, for example, in this case, will be an RFC. Okay, so what this example that I have here will do, every time that a sales order is changed, it will call an RFC, and this RFC will go directly to a listener that I have in my iPaaS, in my integration platform, in the case it's Boomi, and will call and will send the payload. Okay, I don't know why I don't want to edit, because that's not. Okay, here you see you have received select the receiver, that is our RFC destination that we have configured in the backend. Okay, then the subscription, that is similar to the event-driven architecture. So we can send just the event. Okay, hey, this sales order has been modified, or we can send the whole payload in JSON. Okay, so here we will see later what is a table service, but let's say that you will choose what information you want to send to the receiving system, okay, whenever, for example, the sales order is modified. Okay, and you will map the key fields of the sales order that we are sending. Okay, and then we will create a topic that is simply what web service you will be calling. Okay, here we define the path of the web service that we will be calling. Okay, so it's very simple. I will show this before more in depth. Now we have the function modules. Function modules, RFC, you all know that probably. So here you can find all the RFC that you have in your system, even custom or standard. Okay, you can publish them, and you will publish them as an API, as a REST API, and then you will be able to call them directly using standard HTTP calls. So you don't need anymore. With this, you don't need a JCO connector, the Java connector, that sometimes was a little bit slow or even failing. Okay, so, and now we go to my favorite part, that is the table services. Okay, that is where we extract the data from the system. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very nice UI here for the table services. It's loading the tables. It can take a little bit. So here you will see all the tables from all the standard package and also the custom tables. So here we will see, okay, we want to sales document. Well, in description, sorry, this is the table name. I don't want to write the technical name, but sales document. You see, sales, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you don't see that, but because we all know the table name, so I will go directly by back. Okay, so here we have all the sales document that we have in the system, so we can move the table here. You will see very nice UI of the fields of the table. You have here, you see here that we have 219 fields. We don't need the whole table. That's why we have this little button here to select the fields that we're really interested in. Okay, so I will just unmark. I can mark whatever fields I need for this. The type, the sales document type, the net value. Okay. Back, yeah. Net value, I can even search here, so a customer. I will search for the customer. I don't remember the customer field. Oh yes, I remember. Yes. It's sold to party, not customer. So we can select the fields that we need, and we already have this table. Okay, but we have the sales order, but maybe we also want the customer information. So no worries, we will go to the customer table. And bring it here too. So what information do we need from the customer? Well, so maybe the customer, the name, and the city. That's it. Okay, so, and then as a normal database editor, we can do joins. Okay, so you choose the field you want to join. Okay, and you can see on the right that it will propose you the proper field to join to. Okay, so in this case, we will join. This one will be yellow. That means, okay, the same type is string, but it's not the same data element in SAP. No? So we will select to the proper one. You can change. You can do outer join in case you don't want to do an inner join. Okay, so here we have our first table service. Okay, what I can do immediately is view the data. Okay, so I can view the data here, or I can view the data in another system of my landscape. I can view the data even in production directly. Okay, if I have the RFC connection directly to production, I can see what the table service would like if I run it in production. So then that is very, very handy for this. Okay, so but I will test locally because we don't have a production system yet. And here you can see the data that you will extract using this this table service. Okay, so then it's done and finished. I will configure another service. Okay. As I said before, we have the production mode with the transport that you can use, or the local, it just means saved in the development system. And you also can choose the authorization. So who will be able to run this table service? Okay. Here you can choose your custom authorization object or the standard ones that are at SAP roles level. Okay, so we have created the service, and hopefully we will see it here in the list. So it's done. As you see, in a couple of minutes, we have selected all the data model that we need. And this is the good thing. It will create a Swagger for the API, okay? If I click, I can see the Swagger, the specs that we can put in any system, and they will recognize and be able to call this API. Okay, we can even do it directly here. We can change the method, put read. Boom. We will see all the data that we have requested from our system. See, very quick. Okay, so now we have created the table service. What we will do, we were talking about data. So we want to move this into a bucket. Okay, in this case, I will use Google Storage Services. We will Cloud Storage. Sorry, and let me see if I read here. Okay. I want to move all this data from SAP to this bucket that I have here. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, from Google Cloud Storage, you cannot directly call the REST API. So what I will use is an ETL tool, like they explained before, to get this data from Boomi for SAP and put this data into the bucket. Okay. So that's why we have here Ribery or Boomi data integration that Christopher explained before. So what are these rivers? Okay, they call them rivers. Is what Manuel and Antonio explained before. They are data pipelines. Okay, so we're going to create a data pipeline from the source. That this is a REST API. Although, as you can see here, soon we will have the Boomi for SAP connector coming soon, but it will be like probably next month. But as we don't have the Boomi for SAP connector now, we will just use the REST API. So you can connect to any REST API in the world here. Okay. There, so we will see that source of the information. That will be the REST API, Boomi for SAP. Okay, I already configured this, as you can see here, to read the information from the specific table service. We can change the table service name here. Let's go to the Boomi for text docs orders. Pop, and we save. What?
Check the URL.
No. Why? Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So, and then we choose a source, and then we will choose the target. The target in this case, as you can see, we have many types of connectors. Okay. In this case, we will choose Google Cloud Storage, but you can go directly to Databricks that Antonio explained before, or Snowflake, Azure SQL, anything. Okay. Any data lakes or data storage. So Google Cloud Storage, I already configured here my connection with the GCS, and then I will choose the bucket name. And then we can do the settings. So settings mean, okay, let's do it as a schedule. Let's run it every night, run it every day. What to do on failure, what to do on warnings, send a mail when something fails, etc. Right? But now we have it ready just to run. And the first thing it will do, it will read the REST API from Boomi for SAP. Then we'll take this data and move it to the Google Cloud Storage. In this case, I said this was an ETL tool. We are not doing any transformation here. Why? Because this is a Google Cloud Storage. It's just storing the file completely. But if you use something like Snowflake or a database in the cloud, you can do transformations, and you can create transformations like we can do mappings between the fields, and you can do transformation using Python. Okay, in the river. Okay, it says that it's complete. Okay. So we go to our Google Cloud Storage, and we'll refresh. We'll see here that we have something. That's good. This is a live demo, so that could fail, you know. And here we have the authenticated URL, so we can see all the JSON that we have sent from SAP. Okay. And I think we should stop here. I had another thing to show, but I think it's enough because we are a little short on time. So if you want to ask any questions, please.
Are there any questions?
Is there any data limitation, like specific size of the file? For example, SAP has huge number of data. Do you have any like specific size, only 100 KB data, 200 KB data for one transaction?
Yes, I think you can use the proper. I mean, in the REST API we have like the counters and the batches, and you can do it by batches. And of course, with the Boomi for SAP connector that we will have soon, you will have it natively, so you can do it in batches. You don't need to do it like all the information at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, clear.
Mm-hmm.
Any other? If there are no questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Chris.
Sergio.